SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time.
And we are here. It's Wednesday, and it's the 24th of July, 2024. My name is Godwin Iwejuwan, and we're here on our Wednesday Global Update, Global Africa. You are welcome. Joining me to do this are my colleagues, coordinators from different parts of the world. In faraway Lagos, Nigeria is Olayinka Raji. Ogbeni Olayinka Raji, good morning.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, viewers across the globe. Welcome to our Wednesday program. It's going to be another fantastic, amazing, awesome program as usual. Welcome.
As usual, thank you very much,
Raji. I'm really glad to be here.
Yes, and you look refreshed. You look like you slept well, woke up on the right side of a bed, and it's good to see you.
I'm still on an endurance cream. I apply it every day. Endurance cream, yes.
Okay. Near you there is our diva. Near you there in Lagos, our diva. No other person but than BD Nana, Lagos, Nigeria. BD, how are you?
I'm all right. Good morning, Massive Max. It's Raji. Good morning. Good to see you guys.
Good morning, BD.
Nice. BD, you look good. BD, are you going from here? Are you going to a party? You're dressed up like it's
Please tell Saraji to take me for a dinner. At least he's close by. I can't tell you. I can't say you should. Tell Raji to take me out.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Anytime.
You guys are welcome. A lot is happening around the world as usual. But what we do, like we say, is to make a sense of everything. Sometimes those news flying, you find it hard to understand, confusing global events. But here in SSM, we bring we bring it in a way where uniquely they are put to you, and you can have an understanding of what's happening. Also joining us in Toronto, Canada, is our senior man, Sir George Chukwu. Sir George Chukwu, you're welcome.
Good morning. I hope you can hear me.
Loud and clear, George. Loud and clear.
Oh, wow. BD is with us today. No wonder I'm so well dressed. I was wondering, I wanted to put on something casual. Then something inside of me said, put on something. Special guest is here. The diva is here herself. Well, good morning, viewers from around the world. Olayinka Raji, good morning.
Good morning, Sir George.
My Godwin.
Interestingly, guys, we have the purple background today, and BD's background is purple. George's background is purple. Raji's background, somehow the thing just blend. George is putting on a purple dress, and we planned this. Viewers, we didn't plan this. It's just happening. You're welcome, George. Welcome.
Beautiful.
On Monday we had the same topic, but because it's still an issue, still very crucial, so we can't do without starting with this. And this is what I call the Dangote refinery saga with the Nigerian government and the NNPC. So we'll start with the guys in Nigeria. BD, to start with. BD, can you make a sense of this whole Dangote story, NNPC? What's happening? What's our beloved Dangote? Go ahead.
What is happening in Dangote is just one thing. I say what is happening in Dangote is just one thing. When they say let's fight nepotism, some people feel it's not important. Over the years, Dangote have enjoyed the benefit of being a Nigerian, in quotes, because of Dangote, a lot of businesses has gone down. A lot of products has been labeled not good enough for the society. just for Dangote company or product to drive. And he has looked over the nepotism that has been happening in Nigeria. Do you understand? Now, there's something I said yesterday. You notice that over the years, we have enjoyed presidency from the north. Even when Jonathan was there, they didn't really give him that free hand to make decisions or make policies based on what he wants. They kind of, choked him. Now, a different man is there. So he wants things to be done the way it should be done. Dangote is not crying. They've said that his product is substandard. You know what Dangote wanted? Dangote wants to monopolize the oil because the major people that are actually fighting him now is the marketers, the petroleum marketers. They're the major people who are fighting because they don't want him to come in and monopolize the oil sector the way he has monopolized the cement, the sugar, the rice, the flour. So they don't want him to bring that same energy in petroleum sector. If you remember when this president assumed office, he gave out petroleum license to about other 6 marketers because he wants it to be free. He wants other people to come. He doesn't want NNPC to monopolize it the way they've been monopolizing it since. So Dangote is no longer having his way. That's why you see him crying like a baby. Crying, that's just the truth. That's just what is happening. He's no longer having it the way he used to have it. Now, another thing, another angle of it is that he said, Nigerians has been, they were just saying that, if Dangote starts selling, that fuel price will reduce. But I want to tell Nigerians that fuel price is not reducing because it is business. We used to think that Lagos State gave Dangote a free land, but Dangote had just told us that he paid for that land. He paid $100 million. Do you understand? He paid it to Lagos State government. So he's coming into business, pure business. And that is what Nigerians have noticed, that this is business, is not for Nigerians. So that's just what Dangote is crying. He's no longer having his way the way he used to have it. That's just it.
He's no longer having it the way he used to have it. Thank you, BD. BD, you just gave your viewpoints. I know we different viewpoints here. Sir George, but if they say he's monopolizing, he's taking charge of everything. Now, the refinery, Port Harcourt refinery is there, Delta refinery, all of these refineries are there. Why not government fix them and also go into this business tussle with him instead of saying he's monopolizing them? I mean, he's not holding them back to use their refinery and do their thing. George, what are you saying about this whole Dangote saga?
When you understand Asiwaju, then you will understand that he is a different type of politician. Asiwaju is not the one that will come and start fighting with you word to word. Asiwaju is the person who comes out, stays behind the closed doors, and then have proxy wars. That's what Asiwaju does. You look at Fubara and Wike. You look at what is happening in the north, in the Kanu Emir fight that is going on. He will never come out openly to say anything, but he sends, makes sure that his stooges are out there fighting his war. So you remember the very first time after he came in, and there was a call out on the loan that that Dangote took, and Dangote was going all over seeking to have an audience with the president, and he dodged him several times, but eventually, possibly, there's a possibility that they finally met. But what you see here is the advantages that he's enjoyed for so many years, while the oligarchy is actually putting pressure on the government, on Jonathan, on Buhari, to allow this man to be the sole individual that will import certain types of good, with money being given to him aside with the central bank of Nigeria. So now that he's done this, yes, indeed, there is a two-edged sword here that is working against Nigerians who are the ones suffering versus what is really happening in politics and with the businesses. So what you see now is that Dangote thought that he will, I'm just trying to, also echo what BD has been saying. Because if you pay attention, a lot of Igbo businesses went down because of Dangote. There were so many Igbo businesses, the Southeast businesses that used to import different goods, rice, sugar, all those things. But when he comes in, cement, as a matter of fact, once he comes in, the government will find a way to manipulate the system and make sure that he is the sole monopoly over that business. But right now, what you are seeing is things are coming up because Asiwaju will not be there and allow that undue advantage to continue to go with him. But you see, what is happening is this. I hate what NMPC is doing because they are part of the whole problem. I think that organization needs to be dissolved. Okay, and there must be a forensic audit done to expose some of the corruption that is with the NNPC. It needs to be done. We have ignored them for so long. They have manipulated the situation too long. We need to also tackle that particular institution. So what we're seeing also now is they are trying to manipulate what is happening with Dangote refinery. It cannot be monopoly. Because if we have 4 refineries, we have one in Kano, we have one in Kaduna, we have one in Warri, we have 2 in Port Harcourt, or whatever the case might be, and billions has been spent trying to fix and bring it up to date, and that money is being flushed and just flushed on in the toilet. So we can say that Dangote is trying to muscle himself to be the only person selling oil in Nigeria. We cannot say that because it is the government fault who needs to bring this, these refineries to start functioning in order that the people, the populace, yes, will have, an advantage when there is competition among them. Prices of crude will come down. This what they're doing to him right now is trying to lower the number of barrels that are given to him. As a result, he will have to go outside and import some of the cheaper type of petroleum, products, which is not burning light, and they have to be refined and reprocessed several times in order to come to that type of quality that we need. So that's what we're seeing. Let me allow others to talk about this.
Thank you, George. George, you said on both sides, so probably you're not even staying on one side, but that's good.
No, I'm not staying because you have to be balanced in your views.
Okay, but before we go on, let's bring in our man. His op-ed is moving around this morning, and that's Sorosoke Conveyor, Better Niger man, Femi. Okay, you're welcome to Wednesday Global Africa.
I think today must be a special day for Femi to show us
look, he's putting on a purple dress too, almost like a purple dress. Can you imagine this? What's happening today? Okay, Femi, we good to see you. But before you talk, let's hear from our big man, Yinka Raji. Raji, 2 allegations have two leads have been opened. Number 1 is from Dangote. He said NNPC has a refinery in Malta. He said there is a refinery. Some guys are running in Malta, bringing in cheap crude oil, cheap petroleum, refined petrol. Now, this morning, the NNPC director, the man Melik Kiari, said Dangote should pinpoint those names that are behind that Malta European refinery. So what are all this? What are all these leads blowing up? What's happening? Nigeria, NNPC, and Dangote.
My people will tell you that the body they buried, they didn't cover it well. Its tools are sticking out of the burial ground. There have been there are so many dirty deals, Like Sir George said, I'll go first with the NNPC. I think NNPC should have been dissolved a long time ago. For more than 12 years now, NNPC has not produced a single drop of fuel, refined fuel. But billions have been spent on turnaround maintenance, on salaries, on people who have been going on courses and not doing anything other than to go to work, open files, go on courses, and spend money. Billions have been spent on NNPC as I think eventually there should be a very serious forensic audit of all the processes that have happened in NNPC, especially on the sales of crude, the receivables from the crude, the 450,000 barrels of crude that were reserved for local refinery, what has been happening to it, and how did they go about their DP, direct purchase arrangement. Then coming to Dangote. Dangote have enjoyed too much government palliatives. In fact, Dangote has been enjoying what the whole country should be enjoying in course of business. He has been made a monopoly in cement. He has been made a monopoly in flour, in and all this salt and everything, sugar. People are crying. Why must it only be Dangote? And now he has gone into oil and gas. And instead of going there slowly, he has gone in there to start a single stream, 650,000 barrels per day refinery, biggest in the world. A very, very controversial process of refining fuel, because you have to have the whole system not less than 500,000 barrels of crude to start that. You have to have it constantly. And you can't do a mixed max. And to think that you could start that refinery without a sure source of supply from, say, from NNPC or something, it baffles me as a businessman. I don't think that process was well thought out. If I were to do it, I'd have gone with something like something that I can break down into processes, so that in case I don't have the total volume of crude that I require, I can start with something smaller and gradually upgrade. He has given too much monopoly, and it is good that this thing has come out. Yes, Dangote did not come to help the country with our fuel problem. No, he came with his own business, and even though the government has involved itself in it, have spent a lot of money, has given so much concessions, special exchange rate, special access to dollars for him to be able to start this process. He doesn't have the interest of the country.
Raji, somebody sees otherwise. Femi Oke in his op-ed said Nigeria needs people like Dangote. He says Rockefeller, Buffett, Elon Musk, these are the kind of people that will make our country's economy rise to the top. Femi.
So what happened to Rockefeller?
Yes, he's comparing those kind of people having access to business in Nigeria and helping the economy grow. Femi, is that not so? What was that?
Let's fact check once and for all. We've just heard here our great brother saying that Dangote is a monopoly in cement in Nigeria. That's a false statement in itself. I don't know why people say these things. We have Bua Cement, that's another company. Lafarge Cement. We have Ibeto Cement, United Cement, Ashaka Cement, Niger Cement, Eagle Cement. We should stop this kind of narrative. This bear no resemblance to reality. The point is that Nigeria is a situation where everyone is free to invest in whatever industry they want. Just because one particular person chooses to be a patriot and invest, okay, and he gets preferential treatment, just like the Rockefellers in their days, the Fords in their days, the Elon Musks and all those people, the Mark Zuckerbergs, if you go to even Abramovich and people in other countries, the people in India and so on, government has to support them. You know why? Because they are the backbone of the economy of the nation. The Dangote Group generates 3 times the amount of revenue that the federal government makes. 3 times, where that generates $30 billion of revenue. Okay, Nigerian government doesn't even earn that amount in a year from its own revenues. So when you say that government shouldn't try to help that kind of company, that company is helping the country with employment, with industry and whatnot. And we need to have more of, instead of us condemning, we need to have more Dangotes. That's what we should be asking ourselves. Where are the rest of the Dangotes? Why is it just only Dangote? Is it that our Nigerian entrepreneurial spirit doesn't exist? Or is it because they're lazy and they prefer to just enjoy 26% interest and put their money in the bank, get government bonds or whatever? Or is it because a lot of these people are supposedly multi-billionaires? We don't know the sources of their income. And even if we make their income public, they're going to have to be paying taxes. Maybe they don't want to pay those taxes. So we need to ask ourselves, where is the true entrepreneurial spirit in Nigeria? And with regards to NNPC, I've already said it, and I agree with George. Government has no business doing business. You say that we have 4 refineries, okay? Those refineries are dead. They're dead on arrival, and they're never going to see the light. They're never going to perform anything so long as they remain in the hands of government. Government needs to dispense with them ASAP. They should sell them and generate revenue. Because if those refineries are functioning just like Dangote conglomerate, they will be contributing to the revenue of the state. In fact, they'll contribute more to the state than the government trying to put money into it. Private sector will put the money in and they will generate revenue and they'll create jobs. So all this idea that government needs to own stuff, it's beyond me. That's the only, what they should do is create separate companies that will create the so-called competition. Because if you have just NNPC and Dangote, that's a duopoly. It's the same thing as a monopoly. There's no difference. We should completely privatize the sector and put it out to put it on the Nigerian Stock Exchange so that Nigerians can truly own the industry.
Okay, let's go with George first.
Can I respond? Yeah. Okay. You know, he was asking a question, and I completely and totally agree with you, Femi. Okay, regarding the type of businesses that we're supposed to be operating. You gave an example with Rockefeller. Yes, indeed. There are so many Dangotes in Nigeria. There has been so many Dangotes. Potential. I am naming them one by one. Allen Onyema, Innocent Motors, and the rest of them, you know, that are actually ready to rumble when it comes to businesses. But they never receive that kind of accolade, never from the government, never received that kind of support that this man has enjoyed. I know you mentioned a lot of cement countries, but you have to remember also there was a time when Dangote enjoyed complete and absolute monopoly on cement importation, which was one of the businesses that I was involved in. So what I'm saying is this: even up until tomorrow, a northerner came out not too long ago and talking about Nigeria will have their own first car company. When Innocent has been there, which the government neglected and went outside of the country to Japan and buy all these vehicles, SUVs, spending billions of naira. No, there are so many of them. I can tell you right now, if you begin to go back to history and see what Allen Onyema has done when it comes to helping the nation, you know, volunteering, you know, free of charge to do a whole lot of things for the pandemic up until the present. So what we are saying is we do understand we need a lot of Dangotes, but we also need to understand that we need to operate from a plain, fair ground where everybody can participate on fair, equitable ground so that they can all succeed at the same time and the nation can have more employment. So what we are saying is there has been a lot of dichotomy and many people are just supporting one area. Yes, he's enjoyed a lot and I support him 100%. We ought to have a plain, even ground. And let me tell you something. There is something I love about Asiwaju. He's not a pushover. He might not talk too much. He might not be the best orator in the whole world, but I can tell you something. He is trying to balance the equation between the North and the South. And slowly he's doing it. As much as there is much pressure on him, which started right after the war, because a group of small percentage of 3%ers in the nation have controlled the economy and the welfare of our nation. But now, for the very first time, there is a man with a political ball that can equalize and make sure that it's a playing ground for all. So that's one of the things we need to do. We go to the south, we go to the west, we go to the east, and we find people like Dangote and help them to become like Dangote and give him the same privileges that he's enjoyed for many years.
Okay.
You can't go around doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Femi, I quite agree with you. What you pointed out, they were all correct. But what I want to tell you is this: in Nigeria today, it's only Dangote and no other person. Now, you remember the Ibeto cement you talked about is no longer active.
It's no more there.
Dangote on his own took it to court on behalf of Nigerian government. Why did he do that? Have you asked yourself why did he do that? Now, the point I'm saying is this: yes, they said what we perceive is perceived according to the perception of the perceiver. To you, it might not be monopoly, but we, the people in Nigeria, we the people who buy, we know the person that owns the market. Do you understand? And before he came into this market, people were there. And before you know it, those people disappear. It's only Dangote will know. Talk about cement, sugar, rice, flour. It's Dangote. Now, what we're saying is this: Dangote has gotten, they give Dangote loan without any interest in this country. They give him waiver to import everything. Femi, let Nigerian government give me just 100 million loan without interest. Let them give me waiver to import just 2 containers and give me 3 years and see what I will do. See, Nigerian government should give a level playing ground for every business owner. But it's not like that in Dangote own. So what do you call that?
It better still exists.
I just want to buttress what Bidia just said. All those cement companies that Femi was mentioning, almost all of them are dead. Now even Boa has to struggle. Boa has to struggle to stay in business because Dangote took them to court even on sugar. Dangote did all he could do to demarket them. Now let me go back to Rockefeller that Femi mentioned. When Rockefeller started with Standard Oil, he did not get any government palliatives or any government waivers. When it became too much of a monopoly, Standard Oil was broken down into Chevron, into Mobil, into all these most of these other companies, oil companies that you now see. So you can't just throw words into the air and just go in the Rockefeller. What government support has Elon Musk gotten? Elon Musk has not gotten any government support.
Yes, he has got government patronage right now. He's getting government patronage.
Let me go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I wanted to say something to your open. Two things. Yeah. Now we're saying that Dangote has been having some preferential treatment, but guys, take note that it is NNPC is a government-owned establishment, and now they are at loggerheads with both of them with themselves. So that means that that preferential treatment is no more there. In fact, they are both opening up leads that we didn't know. NNPC said Dangote's oil are not refined enough; they are low standard. And Dangote is saying NNPC has an European refinery center run by some people in the group. So that means Mark, it's not a friendly thing again.
Mark, so let me just interject there. All this overall fight is just for them to be able to impress public opinion. NNPC has a lot to answer for, so much, and like Sir George has said, they have to undergo serious forensic audit. Yes. Now, as for the mortar concern, I just read that the mortar concession belongs to Wale Tinubu and his group. So I don't see where NNPC came to be part of that.
And these are all allegations. So until we find the truth, but let me just
throwing allegations around.
Let me just go to the point. The thing is, NNPC needs complete overhaul. Just like how President Tinubu got rid of MFLA, I think it's time to get rid of Kiari. I think his time is up. Kiari, to me, should be pushing NNPC to become a PLC. He hasn't done that, and he keeps on promising us that, they're going to be producing petroleum. They're going to be in December 2023, then January 23, then April 24, 24, January 24, and so on and so on. There he has failed. And for me, on that basis alone, he needs to be removed. You understand? You saw the head of the Secret Service in America. When they fail, they put their heads on the sword and they get out of the place. Kiari needs to go. If he's not making NNPCL a PLC, he needs to go. NNPC needs to be broken up, and that's what they did to Rockefeller. When it became too big, the federal government of America broke it up, Standard, all those things, and that's why you have ExxonMobil and all those other companies. They came from one company that was owned by Rockefeller. And to say that he didn't have preferential treatment, he definitely did. He owned basically the government of America.
Thank you, Femi. Yes, your volume has ceased there. So anyway, guys, we'll be back. Viewers, you are tuning. You see, it's hot today. Today is truly News Echoes Global Africa, because we'll be giving some real strong African updates. So stay tuned. Don't touch that dial. We'll be back.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerian soul are proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
This is everything you need to marry a Nigerian girl. Her father gave me a list of 39 items, which include a live goat. The first place I went was the bulk food market to gather the yam, palm oil, baskets of fruit, and dried fish known as eja osun. And it's not just one yam or liter of palm oil, I am buying large quantities. It was pouring rain and I rented boots to make it through the mud, but it is worth it to marry my beautiful bride. In Nigeria, they practice dowry for marriage, paid to the family. In the Yoruba culture, each item is symbolic and not really a payment to the family, but rather proving your worth to marry her. And prove it I did by next heading to the goat market, where I spoke with a house of men to find the meatiest goat. This is the one I picked, and surprisingly, the goat at only $40 is one of the cheapest items on the list. This can't be done in one day, so after the rain cleared, I went to Mushin Main Market to find the kola nut, both bitter and regular, the alligator pepper, the adun, which specifically said I needed to buy plenty, and bottle of raw honey, which symbolizes that our marriage will be sweet. Next, I had to gather biscuits, bulk packs of different drinks, wine, and semen schnapps, as well as a suitcase full of new clothes for my fiancé to prove I can provide for her in the marriage. And lastly, the marriage Bible, as God will always come first. It is possible to pay someone to buy these items, but for me, I wanted the experience myself. Finally, we brought all these items to the family home for the wedding day. It is not easy to marry a Yoruba girl, but my bride is strong, smart, loving, beautiful, and completely worth it.
SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time.
Yes, I hope you're back with us. Viewers, you're tuning into SSM Wednesday Global Africa update. Femi, it's a lot there. It's a lot there actually on this whole issue. So what we'll do is, we if you guys don't mind, we could set up another news program. Let's talk about monopoly in Nigerian business. Let's talk about not just the oil, not just petrol, not every other thing, and let's see how we can weigh into what is happening for Onyema, Allen Onyema. George talked about Allen Onyema. Onyema is doing so much, but he's getting little in return. And I think some people need to stand up and say some things. So with all your permission, we could set that up before the week runs out. So let's go back to other news. You're welcome. It's not too pleasant in Ethiopia right now. There's a landslide and a lot of people are dying. Bodies are being pulled out of the mud. I don't know, Femi, you follow African news a lot. Do you have any update on Ethiopia? What's happening?
The over 230 million, 230 people, bodies have been found in this landslide. You know, we had a similar landslide in Papua, is it
Papua New Guinea.
Yes. Papua New Guinea. So it's all down to global warming. You know, if you've got communities that live in the near sort of forest and they cut down all their trees, you understand, and what you're gonna have that deforestation. So there's no ground cover to hold the soil when there's a downpouring of rain. And if your house is on the, you know, at the bottom of the valley, when the rain comes, everything just comes down, and you know, it's so sad. So are we going to have that similar problem in Nigeria? I'm even surprised we haven't had that bigger problem. I know in the southeast they have erosion is the major problem in the southeast. So it's amazing that we haven't had the number of deaths, like, you know, these kind of accidents that are happening around the world. And I feel for the people, and we pray you know, that for the dead, and it's just a sad thing. It's just part of the global warming phenomenon that's happening around the world.
Yes, it's a sad thing for me, indeed. George, and I don't know if any of you are following the story.
We're following the story actually. It's such a sad situation whereby, you know, I mean, as of yesterday, 229 people were, you know, have been reported dead. Many are missing, and you know, you see the video of you know, loved one crying, and even children hugging their parents that are dead, you know, and this is what you see. So it's such, it just shreds your heart when you see such a thing. But the question is, okay, yes, indeed, you know, Femi just mentioned this, that he's surprised that it's not happened in Nigeria. But it comes down to also, how is it that we are doing something? Because, you know, if we have, you know, people that are looking after these type of things, they have to, you know, look into the quality of the sand that the houses are being built around. Just the same way when you come close to the sea, you can actually determine whether there will be danger if there is tide rises and then swallow up the houses. So these are the things that we really need to look into, you know, to avoid this type of situation that took place, you know, in Ethiopia. And it happened, like you mentioned, it happened in Papua New Guinea. Is it Papua New Guinea? Or okay, thousands of people were dead. So what is it that we are doing? Are we using our money in the right places in order to secure people that are building houses, by ensuring that the places where these houses are being built are safe in case of catastrophic event that is happening like this? So we need to, you know, save people's lives. So my condolences to the people that lost their loved ones, parents and children, and all those type of things.
Thank you, George. Viewers, that's it. Landslide that occurred in Ethiopia on Sunday and Monday morning after heavy rain in those remote mountainous area of a place called Gufa zone in Ethiopia. So let's move on, guys. We have a story also. We are putting our satellite in Africa. So there's this story of Mexicans coming into South Africa and running the biggest meth laboratory. That's that hard drug that some people call umini. I don't know what you guys call it. The Igbos call it umini. So there's a story that came out yesterday. Is that the biggest lab in South Africa is run by Mexicans doing this meth business, multi-dollar business there in the remote part of South Africa. Do you guys have the story? So how we're looking at it is the white man comes to our land, to Africa, pollute our land, bring hard drugs, kill our people with these drugs, and they turn around to tell us Africa is, you know, they give us all kind of names. Femi,
no,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I totally disagree with you.
Yes, I don't think so.
I totally disagree with you.
In actuality,
they said Mexican and South African. I will not. There's this saying that said that it is the rats in the house that told the rats outside that there's fish at home.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Eziokwu.
So they couldn't have done that thing
man.
comfortably without they couldn't have done that, set up the lab and running it for years without the help of South Africa, without the help of Africans. Do you understand? So it's high time we stop this shifting lane and take responsibility of our aid actions. Because the Mexican, they have their own country, and we know what we know what they are known for. They are known for this. Now you brought them to South Africa so that you can make your own money out of your people. We know what these Mets have done to our people over the years, and you're doing that. So that your statement, I didn't buy into that.
Okay, so you are saying
But anyway, let me just come in right here before you hit that. Okay, we have Gonzalez George, 51, Gutierrez Lopez. Okay, we also have 43 years old Simfue Kamula. This person is from South Africa. Okay, and also we have Frederick Bothard. They're from Africa too. Both single one of them that we arrested, it was a combination of Mexicans and South Africans. But let me tell you the bigger business that is really going on. Most of this meth is not being consumed. They are not being consumed in Africa. They are being shipped outside of Africa. It was a safe zone, a place where they can easily put it together. And then you have the business of transporting it out of Africa into other countries like America, like different parts of the world. Youths are using this. That's what they call it. Yes. So they're using it outside. A few of them that actually, made his way back to Nigeria, destroyed a lot of lives. You see a businessman that is doing so well, all of a sudden he becomes like an entity, walking on the streets and all that kind of stuff. So, but anyway,
my concern is our people. I don't care if they bring it to the West and destroy. I mean, Africa, South Africa, Femi, you know this. South Africa is plagued by drug addicts. Nigeria now is facing it. Southeast Nigeria, the crystal meth is now the in thing. Everybody's taking. So people are taking it, trying to sleep with their mothers, their sisters, and all kind of crazy, bizarre things happening because of Murumiri, and it's coming from this lab in South Africa. Femi.
Well, you know that the Americans say that it's the Chinese, that most of these meth is coming from China. So, and it's a scourge in America. It's really a big problem. So many people have died, hundreds of thousands of people dying every year from meth overdose. And South Africa is, we complain in Nigeria about our economy, but if you look at youth unemployment in South Africa, it is massive. It is really more, I think it's even worse than Nigeria. And therefore, when you've got unemployment, people have got nothing to do. Unfortunately, drugs tends to thrive in those kind of communities. And that's what's happening. So apart from them doing it for export, they're now using it to destroy their own communities. And we're having it in the north, codeine, addiction, and all these kind of things, methadone and all that. It's all crazy, So if the kids are not doing anything constructive with themselves, and we're saying we can't feed ourselves, there's so many things, we're not producing anything, we're importing. That's why we've got so much inflation. When we start producing locally, we might be engaging all these youth. We might begin to turn around our economy. So it's down to the private sector. I'm just saying it, the entrepreneurs like the Dangotes, the Innocents and all the others, to start producing in Nigeria. Have faith in the country despite all the problems. There will be setbacks, but you have to stick the course. That's why I have, I value the Dangotes, because even though you might think he had all these favorable times, he would have had so much hurdles to overcome, and he stuck the course. People need to stick the course in Nigeria for Nigeria to succeed.
Okay, thank you. Yes, you don't want to go too deep because it becomes a little bit passionate about it. All right, yes, you want to say something, Raji?
Yeah, the South African situation is quite pathetic, because since they are independent, since the ANC came in, probably in 1994. I would have thought that they would have started some kind of vocationing for most of the men who were unemployed or unemployable. But for the last 30 years, I don't think they have done much in the side of black education, vocational training for blacks, because traditionally it is their men, it is their women who get more employed, who are more pushy. Most of the men do not get employed, and most of them are probably not trained for anything, and therefore unemployment is quite high among the population of the blacks. But
It's
I
the
think
legacy. It's the legacy. It's the legacy of apartheid that's happening here. There is a lot of jobs, but what you find is that the jobs for black people before was mostly in the mining sector and in the manual jobs. You understand? So now you've got all these people educated. There's not enough jobs for them to do, and that's where they need to start looking. Really, I don't know what they need to do, but they've got massive things to sort out.
Education is by the time the vocational training education was destroyed in America, most black people got education and there was no jobs. So there's importance of that vocational training, which will fill in the which will bring food to the table. Which will bring food before blacks in America were encouraged to go to college. There was always a man in the house who brought food to the table because he was involved in trade, in vocational jobs. But most Americans have gone to get a degree. You are not looking out for a job. How many black psychologists can the country employ when you have so many sociologists and psychologists among the blacks? But auto worker,
not the same. Is that not the same situation in Nigeria?
All right, guys.
Yes,
let's move on.
In fact, sorry, no. Before we move on, sorry. Let me just mention something. We had a meeting at Rotary, and what we discovered was that there's a serious death for apprenticeships. There's no apprenticeship anymore in this country, and if you don't have apprentices, you are not going to have people who are going to take over the masons, the tilers, the electricians, the motor mechanics. Yes, we have a serious. It is across the whole Africa.
And why is it so? I quite agree with you. I was speaking with someone yesterday, he's an engineer. He lamented the same thing. He said that in their field now, they don't have young engineers who are coming up. They are just
apprentices.
So that most of their machine, that they don't even have people who they will hand it over to them. So what is actually the problem? What's the root cause of this?
What's actually the
office
problem?
job? Everybody wants office job.
Yes.
Office job, yes. Everybody wants to go to the university and get a degree and then come out and be something.
Okay,
if so, it goes down to our system.
The problem is this. Okay, listen to this. The problem is we are wasting the money that we are supposed to be bringing these youths up in colleges where they have hands-on experience,
technical,
to come out, and the technical experiences, hands-on, and to help some of the big guns, that are actually in housing industry and different areas. That's what we're doing. We're spending billions to buy SUVs for the government officials, when we can actually create colleges in different areas where these young people can be trained for almost as cheap as I don't know what, just by paying professors to teach them, hands-on. So this is what we are having in Nigeria today. So when they go to some of these places where they will read the theory, but they don't have hands-on experience. When they come out, they don't know how to operate nothing. So we need to develop colleges, 2 years colleges and diplomas where we can train our people and send them out there in the medical industry and in the housing industry and in different areas.
Skill acquisition.
There's almost a federal university. There's almost a federal university in every local government. Federal university, and there's no technical colleges in all these places. What industry are all these university graduates going to feed?
And another thing I look at is inclusiveness. See, in abroad, a driver is respected, and he or she is doing her work or his work with respect and joy. But a driver in Nigeria is seen as nobody. In abroad,
now you've got it.
A mechanic is doing his or her job with dignity, and they respect. Do you understand? But here, there is this class thing and differences.
Yes,
so everybody wants to be at a particular place. People are not respected in their different field.
Wow.
I think it has a lot to.
Thank you.
Do you know the reason?
Let's go to one more topic before we go. Let's go back.
Okay.
Yes, viewers, BD, thank you for that. Gentlemen, ladies, Tinubu urges youth to shelve the plan for the protest, and it just came in now, and an update just came in now saying NLC has shelved that protest. The question now is stopping the protest and promising stipends for unemployed graduates. Does it put an end to our situation, our economic situation? Femi, they just scrapped the NLC, Nigerian Labour Congress, just seconds ago, said they are scrapping the protest. But does this end what we want?
So this is the thing. Is it the NLC that is actually organizing the protest? I thought they weren't part of the protest. I thought they are faceless people doing the protest. We don't know who they are. There's an organic generation of people just protesting like it was during the NSARS. This is all fake news. The people that are protesting know themselves. Their organizers know themselves, and they're the usual suspects, although I'm not going to mention any names here. They know themselves. They're doing it surreptitiously. They're doing it underground, all as a groundwash move to show opposition to government. Now, to me, I don't have a problem with protests. Let's protest, but I think our protesting laws need to change like they do in other countries. I think if you're going to do protest, it should be done legally, and it should be done in an orderly manner. There should be a set, we need to change the law for protest. There should be a set route. You need to get permission, and it must be within a set time frame. You can't have a situation where your protests are going to inhibit the rights of other people, for freedom of movement, freedom to go to work, freedom to go to the hospital, for example. I think that kind of protest is ridiculous. I think that shouldn't be allowed. And I think also it should be localized. Having national protest should be restrained because it obviously affects the whole economy. But at the end of the day, people have the right to protest. And what I'm more concerned about is when they turn that protest into violent protest. I'm on social media all the time, and people are saying, no, don't worry, we're going to show the government, we're going to show them this, we're going to show them that. There are people who are ready to go out on that protest to vent anger. They're not actually doing it to protest. So what is the rationale about protest? Is it to vent anger or to make your position known? So once you turn anger into violence, you see what happened in Kenya. You see what happened in other countries, in Egypt, in Bangladesh. We could go on and on and on. With all the suffering that's happening in Nigeria, we don't need that more on top of the suffering that we've got right now.
Okay.
Listen to this, though. Listen to this very, very specifically. This is very, very important. Protest is a constitutional right of the citizens. Protest is the voice of the unheard. The people that are suffering so much for so long, without the government paying a direct attention to tailor the solutions to their needs. This is the reason why people come up. One of the major problems we have in Nigeria is we have this, Adamic doctrine whereby you start blaming certain people. Like somebody came out and wanted to blame Peter Obi for the protest. Peter Obi has been known for the longest to be the most civil politician we've ever known in Nigeria. And you want to turn around, rather than trying to deal with the solution, you want to turn around and start blaming, it is the woman that you gave me that gave me the fruit to eat. Is it because you don't have solutions to the problem? Is it because the youth do not have the right to protest hunger in the nation? Yes, indeed. I know that it's not Siwaju's problem, because was handed over a rotten food called Nigeria, by Buhari to deal with. So I can understand his concern over, maybe if they go out there to protest like what they did in NSAS. They brought thugs and hoodlums and they started destroying properties, and they gave them the opportunity to kill innocent youths that were protesting, with civility and with no problem. So that's what we have in Nigeria. And up until today, the bodies of those that were killed are still there. And the government of, the government of Lagos State government lied over that, and they, paid, money to a lot of the people that, their children were killed. So this is the kind of corruption we're seeing. So I don't see any problem with protesting, because people are dying daily. These are people that in their houses, when they do not have anything to eat, who do they cry out to? When you bring palliatives, you're bringing a handful of rice to a nation of people. What is that? So what we're seeing today in Nigeria, people are crying out. People are saying enough is enough. But the point that I am going to make right now is they can protest peacefully with civility without destroying any properties or whatever the case might be. But let's make sure that we are looking at the solutions the government are bringing out, because what they have so far is bandaging the wound and it's not curing nothing.
It's not
So my own view about this protest is that, you see, it has to be organized. So what are the demands of these protesters? I'm willing to join them in the process if I know the specific request, specific demands. We all know that
hunger, the major project.
Yes.
Hunger is what they're crying out for.
We cannot take mob action. I'll be willing to join the protest if I know that, okay, we are organizing this protest because of this. We all know what is happening. But where is the body?
Who is saying mob action? There is nobody doing mob. There is nobody saying out there is mob. Most of the mob situation you see are the people that are affected bringing thugs to come and destroy the civil, protest that is going on. Nobody is talking about
Sir George, I agree with you. I've been involved in a lot of protests. And most of these protests turn violent the moment the police or the military come in, or when the government also organize anti-protesters protest against the protesters. Yes, I understand all of that. But let us have a list of demands.
I'll start from the question you asked. Is it okay for the Nigerian government to give Nigerians some stipends? We don't need it. They say they're going to pay some certain amount for 6 months. Then after 6 months, what happened? We'll go back to our hardship. We don't need it.
What happens?
Now, sorry.
Stipends never helped anybody.
Now, Femi said he doesn't want to mention them. Probably he's part of those people who are insinuating that P2B is part of the people who are.
That's the reason why. That's yes.
Staraji, you don't know why.
That's not the reason.
Wait. You will talk later. Wait, let me finish. Sorry. Saraji said you don't know why they are protesting. Saraji, is it because I've not come to your office?
What do you mean? No, I didn't say that. I don't know why they are protesting. I don't know why they are protesting. Let us have an organized protest.
Now wait.
And I'm willing to join.
You know it's not organized. Is it because you don't know about it?
Wait, let me.
How do you know it's not organized?
Yes, we've been having protests in this country, and it has been yielding results. Why is it that when you get to APC governments, they don't want people to protest again? They are now asking for leaders, for organization, for motive. See, let me tell you, our presidents have been part of people who protested in this country. Bayo Onanuga, who is there running his mouth, has been part of those people who have protested in this country. I have his tweets, I have his online protest. Do you understand? See, let me tell you, in as much as I'm not going to be part of this protest, I've been protesting in Nigeria. I was part of NSAS. I'm not going to be part of this protest. Nigerians need to go to the streets and let the government know that it's not easy with Nigerians. We are going to protest. There's going to be protest. There are leaders. You don't need to know them. Why do you want to know them? So you go and pick them up. We have leaders. Protest is going on. Thank you.
Okay. I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad that you said that they are leaders. However, you said you're not going on the street, so I don't know how you're loving protesting. You're not gonna. I always wonder when people are armchair protesters. They sit back here on studio when they on social media. Let them protest, but they won't go into the fire.
Let me
We
tell you
don't
why.
we don't all,
They won't
we
go into
don't
the
all
front
have to
line.
protest. We
They will
don't
not
all
go
have
into
to
the
be on
front line.
the
They
field.
will not go into the front line.
We
And
don't
hold
all
on,
have
the
to be
reason
on
why I'm
the
not
field.
mentioning the reason
No,
why
Femi,
I'm not
we
mentioning
don't
names.
all have to
Hold
be
on,
on the
let me
field.
finish. You already said, John. I'm not saying the names of who the organizers are because I'm not a part of the protest, so I don't know who they are, so I can't name them. But I like the fact that someone like Patutumi said that if they called me to be a part of the protest, I will be there. I want to be there. So I don't think there's any issue. If Peter Obi says I want to be part of the protest, he's showing that he's supporting the people's protest. What's the big deal? I don't know why we like to politicize these things. So what if he's part of the organizer? So what if he's hold on. If he's part, hold on, let me finalize. Listen, if he is part, let me finish. Hold on, let me finish. If he is part of a peaceful protest, which is a right of every Nigerian, what is the big deal? There's no big deal. Get a big deal. Now, the final thing I want to say is this. You talk about APC people doing protests, and they did protest in the 2012 or whenever it was. Was it a violent protest? Okay, look at the difference between that kind of protest and what happened at NSAS. So if you're now doing violent protests, I can't.
It was
The point is, if it's a
NSAS
peaceful
was not
protest, I
violent
support it.
until the government came in.
Absolutely violent, and it was about Buhari must go. It was about Buhari must go, and they want to make this one about Tinubu must go. It cannot succeed.
Violent.
Listen to this.
was not violent until the government came in.
Was violent.
That's what they said in Kenya. That's what they said in Kenya.
Well, but that's why.
We are talking about NSAS. NSAS was not violent until the government came in.
It was government.
Yes,
absolutely violent.
It was not violent.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Now, let me tell you why I'm not protesting.
By the way, hold on, Biddy. Let me just correct Femi. You know, assumption is the lowest form of communication. When you are not sure of what you are saying, I think it's best rather than throwing what Bayo Anunoke is doing, throwing all these nonsense out there, so for people to go ahead and start thinking otherwise. Why not they look for solution? Bayo Anunoke has become a nuisance.
There shouldn't be any solution. I support the right for people to protest, and I've said it here all along. And I don't see what the big deal is. If I'm an organizer in a protest, what's the big deal?
Is he turning the blame on somebody else? Why is he turning the blame on somebody else?
I'm not blaming anyone. I didn't mention anyone's name. I didn't mention anyone's name.
Government is just being disingenuous.
Why is Nigerian government afraid of protests? Why they protested? Now let me tell you.
The only violence is what they're afraid of. Violence is what they're afraid of. Nothing more.
Government that always scuttled it. And why I'm not protesting is because I'm an Igbo woman, and they will arrest me. Even if they're arrest me, Femi will come and kidnap me from that protest.
Yeah. Didi, I'm coming to see you. I'm coming to arrest you. I'm coming to arrest you.
Listen, it's not Nigeria that is planning a protest. There's an African conscious movement going on. It's happening in Uganda. It's also going to happen it's happening in Kenya. It's also going to happen in Uganda. And we see that they keep cracking down on all the opposition of such protests. We have the Ugandan president warning on Saturday the organizers of the planned march they are planning to have. They called it playing with fire, and they will still go ahead and do it. Bobby Wine has been arrested.
Godwin, in the UK, they gave them 5 years sentence for protesting. All right. So the idea that you can have unlimited protests and do whatever you like is completely false. You understand? So we need to look really at what protesting is meant to be and the purpose of protest. So at the end of the day, let them protest. I haven't got anything against that. But why are we not talking about Kamala Harris? We never talk about that. What's happening?
Friday, we'll be talking.
I'm happy that she's going to be the Democratic candidate, So, all those Trump supporters.
We know you love. Anyway, talking about Peter Obi, let's round up with him. let's round up with this.
Too much.
Let's round up with this.
Yeah, I like
gentlemen.
5 minutes. Yes.
Peter Obi also highlighted that Nigeria economic woe is going down and down, is on the decline fast. And but the thing is this, Femi, we don't even need Peter Obi or anybody to tell us what's happening in Nigeria. There's a problem in Nigeria. Nigeria is going through a real dire situation economically. And if people want to express themselves and react with protest, I think the federal government should just let them be. Telling them he will give them some stipends, like the president has said, urging them not to go out to protest. I think that adds to the sinister plan of the government, like BD and George.
Well, listen. Can I say something here? No. I think what the government is doing, what Asiwaju is doing, is a real diplomatic move. You cannot just, if people are, saying, oh, we are hungry, we are dying, and then you keep quiet and stay, lock up your, Aso Rock and don't say anything. What he is doing is what a leader is supposed to do. What can I do to help you? What can I do to stop you going out there in the streets and the possibility of, the wrong people turning this thing into a chaotic situation and people will die? That is a real leader, if you ask me. For him to come out and say, I am listening to your woes, I am listening to your problems, but please, can we do this in order to appease you for now while we are bringing the solution on board? So he's doing a good job when it comes to this management, with the protesters. So I really commend him highly on that. That means that the man is listening. He is listening to the people. So I commend him high. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can be a criminal like Trump. You can be a felon like Trump. You can be used also to bring some issues, a solution to a problem. So let us just allow the man to do what he is doing. He is doing so far so good, except in areas of the 3% that are destroying our nation. No. When it comes to the management now, one of the problems Tinubu is having is the people that he surrounds himself with. That's what you got to understand. He is surrounding himself with a lot of people that are empty inside and do not know the answers to. They don't even know the questions and they're trying to give you answers. That's one of the major problems we have in Nigeria today. So let us try as much as when we see the truth, we speak it. And when we see where we can divert and give two sides of the story, we can also. So with him trying to appease the youth and say, don't go out there because it's hot, more than likely, somebody will start something and maybe somebody will die, which I pray will never happen.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Raji. Thank you, BD. Femi Network probably took him out. So this is it, viewers. We've done it as we do, even far better than we used to do, because there were real insights and real good opinions today. So till we come again on Friday, Femi, we'll be talking about Kamala Harris, we'll be talking about Trump, we'll be talking about a lot of things happening in the international plane. Till then, George, anybody has any last thing to say? You want to say any last thing?
Well, we just want to also, thank our viewers who have been supporting us for many years now. And then we want to, appreciate your loyalty, listening to us, where we, give you the real-time stories. We give you our opinions also, but we also give you the real-time stories. But this is a place where nobody can muscle you to say you cannot say this or say that. So we are around the world.
Yeah.
We are the untouchable newscasters.
Yes, adding to that, George, let me also say thank you to our Russian viewers. The Russian view is quite impressive, gentlemen. I can't believe the numbers I'm seeing from Russia. It's humongous, massive. So we know actually because they censor some networks, but ours have that passage to pass through. So thank you to Russian viewers. Thank you to all those that also keep up with us here. And thank you to BD taking our time to come. BD, please be careful if you're going to go out there to protest.
No, and Raji,
Raji, it's good you have it's good you have a feel of the protest, so you can also come tell us how it is. You know.
Yes, I will do that.
George and I will be watching. I'll be following. I follow real time with device, and sometimes I'm following like with my microscope, looking very deep at what they do. All right, till then, guys. Bye bye. See you on Friday.
All right.
Have
Have a nice day.
SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on